Who are the mystery attackers on AEW Dynamite? But first, a rumored AEW debutant has been removed from the WWE roster. WWE Hall of Famer Edge recently competed in his final match under his WWE contract on SmackDown last month, where he secured a victory over Sheamus in Toronto. Following this, the Rated R superstar disclosed that his contract with WWE was set to expire in late September, meaning that he is set to hit free agency in the coming days if he hasn't done so already. It was recently reported that Edge had been removed from WWE's internal active roster, with him being moved to the miscellaneous section alongside legends such as Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. With that said, according to a brand new report from PW Insider that was released earlier today, Edge has now been removed from this miscellaneous list, which suggests that his time with the company is officially over. There has been a ton of speculation surrounding Edge's upcoming free agency, with many anticipating that he could be heading to AEW at some point in the future, with this weekend's WrestleDream pay-per-view feeling like a probable option. On top of this, Dave Meltzer has revealed on Wrestling Observer Radio that there are people within WWE that feel Edge is AEW bound. And next, a former AEW talent is set to make their NXT debut. On Tuesday night, NXT would host their latest weekly television episode, where a vignette would be shown to hype up an incoming new superstar, in which a man was shown watching an old television where some clues would appear to reveal his identity. The television would show footage of the Cincinnati Bengals NFL team before the channel was changed to WCW Saturday Night, a World Championship Wrestling show that ran from 1971 until the year 2000. These clues almost certainly confirm that former AEW wrestler Brian Pillman Jr. is set to appear on NXT television, this after he reportedly signed for WWE back in July following the expiration of his All Elite contract. Whilst Pillman Jr.'s name was never officially mentioned and his face couldn't be seen, his father and wrestling legend Brian Pillman would play for the Cincinnati Bengals in 1984 before embarking on a new career path in wrestling, eventually becoming a staple of WCW as Fly-In Brian, then evolving into one half of the Hollywood Blondes alongside Steve Austin, and eventually becoming the Loose Cannon. It remains to be seen when Pillman Jr. will actually show up in the NXT arena, although we likely won't have to wait too long, with his impending debut being a sign that his 3 months in the Performance Center have so far been successful. And next up, we have some details of a scrapped surprise on AEW Dynamite. Last week on AEW Dynamite, Jon Moxley would find himself on the end of a concussion during his AEW International Championship defense against Rey Fenix. This after the back of his head hit the floor outside early on. This would then lead to an audible mid-match, with Fenix leaving with the title instead of the original plan of Moxley retaining. We now have a fresh report from Fightful Select, who have provided some further information on the matter and how the situation led to a debut or return being put on hold. According to the reports, a non-AEW wrestler was supposed to come out after Moxley was victorious, this in order to challenge him for a match at the WrestleDream pay-per-view. However, the change in result meant this angle was scrapped. It was noted that it's still unknown who this person was. However, given the theme of WrestleDream, I get the indication that it was probably someone from New Japan. Another branch of this story surrounds the referee for the bout, Rick Knox, who apparently now has heat on himself backstage. From the footage, it appears that after the challenger dropped the champion with a pile driver, Moxley told the referee to call it, meaning to end the match there and then. However, Knox didn't count the free, despite John not kicking out. Moxley can then be heard yelling "F you" to Rick. This then led to Phoenix hitting a second pile driver immediately after, with Knox at this point realizing his mistake, counting the free. The Fightful reporters revealed the backstage feeling towards the ref after they contacted several talents on the roster, noting that while they like Rick Knox, there was heavy heat on him within the company. They would add that this wasn't the first time something like this has happened, where a wrestler wasn't protected. It's worth noting that whilst Knox didn't appear on last night's episode of Dynamite, fan reports on X claim that he was present during the Rampage tapings that took place after the live show. And next, 3 major wrestling companies have formed an official alliance. Last night, Mexican wrestling promotion CMLL, an organization founded all the way back in 1933 under the name EMLL, would announce that they formed a strategic alliance with Japan's top wrestling company, New Japan Pro-Wrestling, as well as American promotion Major League Wrestling. Whilst MLW and NJPW announced they would begin working together in August, with CMLL and NJPW working side by side for a while now, it seems the latest news shows that their bond will be stronger than ever. And first, let's take a look at the press release sent out by the Lucha Libre company, and they would write: Major League Wrestling, Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, and New Japan Pro-Wrestling today announced the formation of a landmark strategic alliance. The 3 world-class organizations will unite for a variety of crossover collaborations commencing this October. The strategic alliance creates the ultimate stage for each organization to showcase their signature fighting styles and athletes. According to Fightful Select, discussions between the 3 groups began in early July, and the partnership is set to commence in October. As part of this collaboration, MLW has made adjustments to its roster to align with CMLL, and as a result will not be featuring any talent from AAA, which explains the recent departure of talent such as Sam Adonis. On top of this, sources indicated that there will be a steady exchange of talent amongst the 3 organizations, and that MLW is planning to revitalize its Lucha Libre talent pool in 2024 with a significant influx of CMLL talent. The crossover between New Japan Pro-Wrestling and MLW is also expected to expand in the upcoming year. Next up, WWE's newest signing has discussed their All Elite Wrestling exit. Earlier this week, it was officially confirmed by WWE that former AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill has joined the company, with her being given a grand welcoming by an ESPN article, as well as a tweet from WWE Chief Content Officer himself, Triple H. Speaking on the Ringer's Masked Man show on Tuesday, Cargill would reveal her goal was always to get to WWE, with her considering it to be the grand stage, and Jade would note, "It feels great. I felt like I was in preparation for the grand show. I felt like this was always the mission. I felt like the shoe fit. It felt like this was going to happen. Honestly, this was all expected. I'm excited to be here. One thing I am is a businesswoman. I think I made the best route at the time to sign for AEW. WWE is a great company, but I took what I had and I bet on myself. The outcome obviously paid off." Jade would then reveal that fellow former AEW star Cody Rhodes played a big factor into her decision, and she would add, "He was top 3 and not 3rd. He is a phenomenal man. I've seen what the business did for him. I've seen him be the stellar athlete that he is. I didn't see anything different for myself. He was one of the guys that led me to a great decision." Jade was then asked if she felt like she hit a ceiling in AEW prior to her exit, and she would respond, "I wouldn't say it's a ceiling, I would just say the route I wanted to take was different, and the route I wanted to embark on was different. I didn't see over there where I could fit in. The only way I could do it was coming to the WWE universe. I bet on myself, and I made the best decision coming here." Cargill would then be asked which WWE brand she will be debuting on, although she would not disclose that information at this time. She would then be asked the same thing later by ESPN, with her noting that whilst the decision has been made, we will have to tune in to find out. And next, we have an update on a major All Elite Wrestling injury. Last week on Dynamite, Adam Cole would suffer from an ankle injury when jumping down from the ramp to the floor in order to support his friend MJF at ringside during his AEW World title defense against Samoa Joe. During last night's episode of Dynamite, Cole would then provide an update on his situation, announcing that he will undergo surgery due to a severe ankle injury. Adam appeared alongside MJF for an in-ring promo wearing a cast on his leg and using crutches, before revealing that not only did he break his ankle in 3 places, but also suffered ligament tears, resulting in the need for surgery. Whilst Cole was on the verge of relinquishing the ROH Tag Team titles, MJF would interrupt, suggesting that he defend the titles on his own in a handicap match against the Righteous at WrestleDream this Sunday. The segment concluded with Roderick Strong entering the scene, expressing his support for Cole, who then left with Strong and the Kingdom, just as Jay White made an appearance to declare his desire to challenge for the AEW World Championship. Next up, who are the mystery attackers on AEW Dynamite? As the latest episode of AEW Dynamite came to a close, an incident would occur backstage involving likely new world title #1 contender Jay White, which saw him being attacked by an individual wearing MJF's infamous devil mask. The show's conclusion featured a group of individuals dressed in black assaulting the Bullet Club Gold leader, with a person donning the devil mask initially introduced by MJF at All Out 2022, who then seized the camera to end the broadcast. The internet has put together a list of suspects who could be responsible for the assault, including names such as MJF himself, as well as Jack Perry, Edge, the rest of Bullet Club Gold in a swerve, or Andrade and the LFI, and even CM Punk. With that said, there were several hints to suggest that it may even be Adam Cole and the Kingdom, this despite the former currently being ruled out with injury. The first clue came last month during the AEW All-In Fallout segment, where MJF and Adam Cole were shown in the Wembley locker room, with the devil mask being seen hanging above Cole's head. Many have taken this as an Easter egg to suggest that he was involved. On top of this, it could be interpreted that one of the attackers is wearing a neck brace under their clothing, an item that has become synonymous with Roderick Strong. With all that said though, these could all be red flags, leading to a surprise reveal, but I guess only time will tell. For this to be the case, it would also mean that AEW are working fans with Adam Cole's injury status to the point where his girlfriend Britt Baker released a graphic image of Cole's ankle on social media, something that would be a challenge to fake. But who do you think is hiding under MJF's devil mask? Let me know in the comments down below. And before you go, make sure you check out what's next for the WWE releases of September 2023.